Well, like you say, local derby, that adds that little bit of extra spice to it, doesn't it? We've got 2 wins over them so far this year, but I think you can throw the form out of the window when it comes to playoffs. I think Oldham are going to be looking for revenge. I thought it was a good win against Hunslet. I watched it. I think they came from behind to beat Hunslet, and it was a do or die game again. So that's a game that they went into knowing they had to win, and then they're in the same situation again this week. So I think they'll be well prepared. Stu's a good coach. He's got a good group of players, well marshalled with 2 decent halfbacks in Riddy, who's been around the block and knows, again, a very experienced player, knows what he's doing, and Dave Hewitt as well. Two good halfbacks there that will marshal the team. So we're expecting Oldham to come confident. I think they'll come expecting to turn us over, and we've got to be ready for that. And like I said, our past couple of weeks we've struggled for numbers, but I think that's really been positive for us in some respects, and that it's brought us closer together as a team, actually. So, we're expecting Oldham to be at the best, but I think Rochdale will be at the best as well. So it promises to be a really good game.
Thank you for joining us, and welcome back. First things first, how's preparations going ahead of this big match against Oldham this weekend?
Thanks, Bev. First of all, it's been a tough year. Obviously, with Matt stepping aside and taking over, we've had a tough few weeks. Lost a lot of the players through injury and suspension, so we've done it tough over the last few weeks. But I'm pleased to say that I'm in a fortunate position this week of having 20 players to pick from, which I've not had for a number of weeks. So we're looking pretty strong going into the playoffs at the right time. With a strong squad is what we've been aiming for, really. So we've got over the last couple of weeks. Last week was particularly tough. We ended up with only 14 players in the end. That was a particularly tough afternoon, but I thought I was so proud of the players. I thought they did themselves a lot of credit against Keighley, who were a very good team. And hopefully that togetherness and spirit that we showed will stand us in good stead going into the playoffs.
And for you personally as well, you mentioned it already, Matt Keller's assistant. Obviously, Matt Keller's stepped down at the start of August. So what's it been like being back as head coach this past month or so?
It brings all the stress back, doesn't it? Like I said, having to field a team with only 14 fit players and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. When you're an assistant, although you feel that pressure, it's not as big a pressure as when you're head coach. So it's brought all those pressures back of what it's like to be head coach. But I guess that's why we do it. We thrive on pressures like that, and it has been a challenge, but at the same time enjoyable. So. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not sure I have the appetite to go back and be head coach again after some previous experiences, but I have to say that they're a great group of blokes that we've got at Rochdale, run by good people as well. So when Andy asked me to take over from Matt till the end of the season, I thought the lads deserved that bit of continuity. I had no real desire to be head coach again. I went in to fully support Matt, and that was always my agenda. But obviously things change. And when the opportunity came along, I thought, well, the boys need some continuity. It wouldn't be fair to leave them with a new guy completely and totally ruin the season. So I thought I'd step in, get it through to the end of the season and see if we can give our chance of doing well in the playoffs. And that's where we are.
And how important is that experience that you're bringing? But also there's some players in the squad as well who are big game players who've been here before, because, this is an elimination playoff this weekend. So, winner stays on. So how important is that level of experience you've got with yourself and some of the players as well in the squad, do you feel?
Oh, it's massive. Obviously playoff football is completely different to week league football. As you said there, it's do or die. You can't leave anything out on the field. You've got to give it 100% for the full 80. And Fui and Greg and Rang have been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. Fui's had a new lease of life. He's been superb for us. I think he got man of the match against Keighley on Sunday. So, those guys have been there. They've been through it all before, so they know what they're about. And they've been great to me as well. They've been great support for me coming in. It's not easy when you take over a club halfway through a season or partway through a season. And obviously, there's a lot of history gone before that, so it's not easy. But the senior players have been superb, and obviously I thank them for that. But I think that experience from myself and those experienced players or senior players will be invaluable going into this game on Sunday.
So let's talk about this game on Sunday. It's against Oldham. Thinking back to last week and that massive game between Hunslet and Oldham, the outcome, whatever happened, would have dictated how I approached this interview with yourself, because obviously you used to be head coach at Hunslet and Oldham. It doesn't need mention it really. The rival with Rochdale up the road. So you've ended up with Oldham. I mean, what's your thoughts on this challenge this weekend?
Well, like you say, a local derby, that adds that little bit of extra spice to it, doesn't it? We've got 2 wins over them so far this year, but I think you can throw the form out of the window when it comes to playoffs. I think Oldham are going to be looking for revenge. I thought it was a good win against Hunslet. I watched it. I think they came from behind to beat Hunslet, and it was a do or die game again. So that's a game that they went into knowing they had to win, and then they're in the same situation again this week. So I think they'll be well prepared. Stu's a good coach. He's got a good group of players, well marshalled with 2 decent halfbacks in Riddy, who's been around the block and knows, again, a very experienced player, knows what he's doing, and Dave Hewitt as well. Two good halfbacks there that will marshal the team. So we're expecting Oldham to come confident. I think they'll come expecting to turn us over, and we've got to be ready for that. And like I said, our past couple of weeks we've struggled for numbers, but I think that's really been positive for us in some respects, and that it's brought us closer together as a team, actually. So, we're expecting Oldham to be at the best, but I think Rochdale will be at the best as well. So it promises to be a really good game.
And looking forward to those nice selection headaches that you're going to have this weekend.
Yeah, it's another reason not to sleep, isn't it? You're wondering where you're getting players from, and now you've wondered how to leave out. So it's another sleepless night, isn't it, or two? But yeah, no, I think it's. I've got to reward those that worked so hard on Sunday at Keighley, obviously, but we've also got to be mindful of the fact that we're playing in an elimination playoff game, so we've got to pick our best 17, or we consider to be our best 17 for the day, and hopefully they deliver.
And final question, Gary, just about whatever happens this weekend, it is going to be the last home game of the season. So you're going to need that you're going to need a big crowd there at Spotland this weekend. What's your hopes for the Terraces, and how they're going to cheer you on Sunday?
Yeah, hopefully the Rochdale fans turn out, and again, a big thanks to them, because they've been very supportive of me since I took over. Matt's a local guy, and there's a lot of history there between Matt and Rochdale and the Rochdale fans, and it could have been quite different for me taking over, but they've been brilliant. They've been absolutely superb and very supportive, and I'd like to thank them for that. And hopefully, last home game of the season, they'll get out in force, be that so-called 14th man on the pitch for us, and give us that extra bit of cheer to get us through the game.
Well, Gary Thornton, head coach of the Rochdale Hornets, a big thank you for taking the time out of your day for joining us this week, and all the best this weekend.
Thank you, and cheers, mate. Thank you.